get by. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like $100,000.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here. We're here live at IRCE, inspiredinsider.com. I'm here with Tom Montgomery, co-founder of Chubbies. And I just want to start off with, when did Chubbies start?
So Chubbies started in 2011, September of 2011. So we launched a men's shorts brand right in the heart of fall, which is a really good time to be launching in the United States. And yeah, it was four buddies from college who had a dream of clothing, the men of the world in tiny shorts.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So, Tom, I was wondering, you went to Stanford, right? And so you may have been growing up, it's like, one day I want to own a tiny shorts company. What did you want to do when you grew up?
So that's funny. I'm originally from Bakersfield, California, so a far cry from Silicon Valley. The businesses I knew were oil, farming, and my dad was a fast food guy.
What did your dad do?
He owned a couple of Wendy's restaurants.
Really?
Yeah, so I was raised on, the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger and Frosties and all that good stuff.
You're in good shape for it.
Yeah. So the thing is like when you go to Stanford, you're exposed to a whole new world of entrepreneurship, and I had no idea. So most of my college career was like, what the heck's going on, trying to figure out my bearings and trying.
But you were always, you grew up in an entrepreneurial household with your dad.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do something entrepreneurial. It's just the world that how I thought about it was different. I went from thinking about it as like, hey, maybe I'll run an oil business to, maybe I'll try and start a tech company, Yeah. And so, for us, I worked in venture capital for 3 years. That was really a big survey of like, what are the businesses that are out there? I really started to get passionate about e-commerce because there was this cool relationship with a customer that you can have in a really big scale. And you also can have that in media. And so it's funny that Chubbies is kind of this blend of commerce and media because both of those were areas that are really, really interesting to me. And then the business kind of originated because we all wore short shorts. We all wore them. They were handed down from our dads or our uncles, or we'd find them at thrift shops, but you couldn't get them anywhere. And so the product was...
For some reason you say it, I picture like John Stockton. That's what I picture.
That's exactly what you... That's an honor to be thrown in the same bucket as John Stockton. But so we had a product, and we thought this product was really cool. And then there was also this world of men's fashion that was totally foreign to us. The Abercrombie Fitch, where they show you the abs and they've got, six-pack guys spraying you with cologne. That wasn't me. That wasn't my friends. And so we tried to kind of take this product and build, this kind of fashion revolution around it that is like, no, that's not us. Let's build something relatable. Let's build something about fun, about the weekend that doesn't take itself very seriously. And the real inspiration for that was our dads and John Stockton and all these old photos of guys who just looked like they were having the best time. They weren't self-conscious, and so that formed the basis of what became kind of the Chubbies brand.
Yeah. So, oftentimes when people start companies, it's not, doesn't start off the same as what it is today. What was the first iteration of the company? What was the first product?
First iteration was, we had to figure out how to manufacture products. We had to figure out how to get different colors. We had to figure out how to how to fulfill them. We did all of that ourselves. And so first iteration was as simple as it could possibly be. It was a pair of white shorts that we would dye different colors, and we would ship them out ourselves from our apartment. We would take boxes of shorts and go take them to the local post office and just ship them out like that. And so obviously, now we've got, probably 1,000 SKUs and really, really developed fulfillment operation, really developed manufacturing practices. And so it's gone from kind of, four guys in an apartment kind of messing around to, something a little bit more serious. Similarly, on the marketing side of things, we've gone from, being a little bit unsophisticated to now really understanding how content works, really understanding how to engage with our community. And, we've got now a community of, 2 million people on social media that are just like, buddies of ours, which is really, really cool. A really cool feeling.
How do you come up with new product ideas?
Oh, golly. We had a brainstorm
Like
yesterday.
Yeah. Talk about the brainstorm.
They're insane. We go all over the map. And what was an idea yesterday? Yesterday, one of the ideas that I had was, we have tearaway
I can't wait
shorts
to hear
that you
about
can
this.
rip
Yeah.
off.
Yes.
Well, I thought, maybe we could tear them away, and then you can button them back up on your top half as a tank top. So
I feel like you guys need to be featured in like a Will Ferrell movie or
Yeah,
something.
I know. Yeah,
like
that
him
would be
tearing
great.
away the
That would
chubby
be
shorts.
great, yeah. But
Anyone out there knows Will Ferrell or any of those people, we need to get a tearaway chubby shorts on you for one of these movies.
He's the coolest guy. Yeah, we got to get in touch
So a
with him.
tearaway that you tear them
You
away.
can tear them away, but then you could button them up.
What made you even think of that? That's
That's the point.
Right.
When we do our brainstorms, they go far and crazy. And what we end
are
up
there,
with,
mushrooms about. Like, how do you get creative? No.
we've got
Like,
really,
what do you do to get the
really-
creative juices going in that
It's
sense?
it's the people,
Yeah.
And now we've got a team of, I guess 90 total, but in the main office about 50, and it's just amazing people. That's something that's intangible, and that's something that you learn as you go along. We started with 4 people, and every hire that you make adds to your culture, and we've got a great culture. We've got great people in the business, and they're always looking at how can we push the envelope, how can we do something different. And so, the creative process has always been something that is like just balls, just bonkers.
Yes.
Bonkers.
I love hearing those. Tom, what's one that you thought of that this one hasn't hit the market yet, that particular tearaway that goes in a tank top, but what's one that you are surprised that actually took off? You're like, let's just test it, let's go with it, and let's see what happens, and it actually took off.
The one that did well for us is short overalls. So overalls that, end in shorts.
Yeah.
And we made them ridiculous. We made them outrageous. And we knew that there would be some demand. I think stuff that you can wear in a really fun way that's funny and gets attention is always a good thing. Is always good for us. Right. But we just didn't quite realize how resonant it would be. And so every time we put them out, they've sold out instantly. Because it's fun. It's funny. I think one of the things about our customer base is that they're funny people, and they don't take themselves too seriously. That's nothing that you're going to be planning on wearing to a wedding, unless you're just
Maybe
a boss.
it's a farm town.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun group of people, and I think the lightheartedness that we try and bring to everything that we do really came across in those, and so people responded.
So you're doing some cutting edge stuff with social media, and that's one of the things you're talking about at IRCE. Talk about some of the things that you're doing online.
Oh, golly. Anything that is happening in social media, we're trying to, outdo. So what I'm talking about here today is Snapchat, Instagram stories, kind of the short form, low production value video content that only exists for like a day. So all the work you put into it is instantly moot 24 hours later.
That's painful.
But we've done everything and anything under the sun with that. We tried to build a full TV series on Snapchat that hopefully our customers enjoyed. We've really messed around with the special effects on the platform. We've had people running up walls like you see in the Matrix, except for without any special effects. So that's fun. And from a content side of things, that's one of the things we've really tried to innovate on with Snapchat and Instagram Stories is just production, because when you're in those platforms, you eliminate the ability to edit video and to make it look too polished, because if it's too polished, it looks like an ad.
People like it. Yeah, people like the real deal video.
And they like seeing things that they could do themselves. And so that's been really fun to kind of level the playing field with the big guys and have it just be about creativity, and that's why those platforms are so cool. And then broadly through social media, that's the way we connect with our fans and with our community, and that's the closest we can get to one-to-one. And so we just try and have as much fun as possible with them, put out as much content as we can to give them a laugh or give them a smile.
Yeah.
And so, if you're encountering us on social media, hopefully that's happening.
Right. There's two things. I mean, you guys are wildly successful, have a lot of huge fans. I always like to hear about two things, the challenging parts. It's not easy running a company, and then something you're really proud of from the company. What's been challenging as far as running the company?
I mean, every day there's a new thing. I think that, currently, What's been challenging for us is staying in stock of products, right? Like we sell out.
That's a
of
good
product.
problem.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not for the customer. For the customer,
It's
they
a
want to
bad
get what they
customer
want,
experience, you're saying,
and we'll have products that we'll put out that will sell out in 2 days, and that's not a great experience. And so if you go on the site at any given moment, you kind of see a lot of stuff is out. And so
How do you forecast?
exactly, how do you forecast? How big are your bets? Because you don't want to be sitting on a ton of inventory.
Right.
With a small business like us, where we don't have as much cash as the Nikes.
It's
as
just
the big
like
guys.
money sitting in.
Yeah. And that can be something that really damages a company. And so understanding that and being better about that and interacting with our customer base more is kind of how we're solving that, to understand like how much do you guys like this? How big should we bet behind these concepts?
Yeah. How do you hedge that? Are there like surveys you put out? Or how do you?
Forecasting.
It's
we put out
tough.
a ton of surveys. We have a group of about 400 campus ambassadors that we ask. We ask our loyal customers. We try and get as many data points as possible. And for us, we're realizing just the more the better. And so we're doing more and more and more of that to try and get tighter and tighter and tighter. But that's the fundamental resale problem.
With any physical
can you
goods
predict
problem.
what'll sell before it sells? And if we can figure that out, then we're geniuses. But so that's one of the
with social media, I mean, you tend to have more of a finger on the pulse of things.
Yeah,
right?
and we have access to more people. I think relative to other people out there, or the way that businesses used to get started, we have a subscriber base of 2 million people, and we have more than, we have another group of people on our email list. We have another group of people who are hitting our site. So we can get feedback from a lot of people, which is very different from kind of the old world where you had your store and your footprint was the people that walk by that store. And then otherwise you were buying time. You were buying media from the TV spots or in print or whatever. Now we can build our own channels. We have our own audience because we kind of try and develop content. And so we can interact with them in a much more authentic way.
Direct, authentic. A proud moment, a milestone that you hit that you're especially proud of?
Well, I'm always proud of the team. The team we've put together is amazing. They're the most creative, hardworking, intelligent people out there. And we wouldn't be where we are today without any of the folks there. And everyone, really does crush it. And so that's awesome. It's awesome to see the level of people that we're able to attract to the mission.
Yeah. Well, on that point for a second, culture is big for you. How do you foster a great culture? I know it starts from the top down, but what are some things that you advise other people to do?
Yeah, I mean, for us, transparency is key, like being very communicative, letting people know what's going on in the business, letting people know initiatives, letting people know what we're up to, and over-communicating that to allow everyone to be involved, because if there's one thing that we've learned, it's that great ideas come from anywhere, and you hear that a lot, but it's true, and keeping people in the dark is something that is not inspiring. And so trying to make sure that we're keeping people in the know, inspiring them to stay a part of the mission and to feel great and feel positive about where they're at is one thing. And then broadly, we have a set of cultural values that we hit on and we harp on, and they're a part of our reviews process. They're a part of the way that we hire. One of them is like boldly entrepreneurial is like a kind of the headline, and that means that people are able to self-start. They're able to go out and get results. They don't need a lot of direction because in this world, like the thing that we always emphasize is like, yeah, we're 50 people, but the people against whom we're competing are thousands of people, and they're doing the same things. Like fundamentally, we're all doing the same things.
Right.
And so they just have more people doing it, and so everyone needs to be able to do a lot.
By the way, you guys have to be doing the work of 1,000 people per person, right?
It's insane. And so, prioritization, the ability to go out and do things that you think are right is really, really important. So boldly entrepreneurial, positivity is big in our company. Is just need to be positive, need to be a good, a force of light, to make people smile. And
well, your product sort of does that, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's built around what
it's built into the product.
Yeah, and so a few others like that where we reinforce them, we harp on them, and they're all tied back to this mission that the company has of brightening up people's days and giving them that kind of constant reminder of the weekend, constant reminder of the things that are important in life, of friends, family, and smiling, keeping a smile on your face.
So, Tom, I have one last question. I can go on because this is fascinating. Before I ask it, just let's point people towards your site, where should they check you out online, on social media?
Yeah, Chubbies.com, and you can search Chubbies on any of the social media platforms. Snapchat, it's Chubbies Shorts with 2 S's in the middle. But pretty easy to find if you remember the name is Chubbies.
Yeah. So, last question about lessons. What are some lessons you learned from your dad or other mentors that you had? Because it probably starts early on.
Yeah. First mentor was certainly my dad.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I learned from him was work ethic. Since I was a young lad, I was in school.
Did you have to work in some of the Wendy's or what?
I did,
Yeah.
and then also I was working at. He didn't want to give me any opportunities. So
You gotta clean the toilets.
yeah. Well, he didn't even want to give me a job. So
You had to fight for the
he
job.
would make me go get. So I worked at an auto dealership for a few summers, washing cars, prepping cars for sale. I was a used car sales lot guy. And I was also working in the back office doing customer service, working in the service department. So I did a lot of car work. But from him, it was work ethic, and it was work ethic as it pertained to school. I would wake up at 6 in the morning and start school at home before I went to school, and then I'd go to school and then get out of school and do more school. So he was really big into that, and it was awesome because I think one of the things that you realize starts to differentiate entrepreneurs is the tenacity, really the ability to stick with something and crank through the hard times and see setbacks as just that, setbacks. They're not the end of the company. They're not the be all end all because you just got to keep chugging. You got to keep innovating.
Hard work and
so
the
that's
others
probably,
from him.
He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. So lots of others. He taught me how to write. He taught me a lot of stuff. In terms of maxims, there's nothing really that comes to mind immediately. But I think tenacity, hard work was always the name of the game for him. And continue learning. When I went to school, he was as uneducated as I was about what modern entrepreneurship in Silicon Valley was like, but he was learning right along with me and teaching me a lot about that, and so that was huge. And he's obviously a mentor and a hero.
Yeah,
so it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Live RC. Check out Chubbies.com. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.